Here's verse 42 of John chapter 1. We're in the midst of the discussion of Andrew going and finding his brother Peter and bringing him to Jesus, and that's exactly what we take up at this point. The word egogen, from ago, I lead. This is the aorist, a little bit irregular, but it's simply the past tense. He led, referring to Andrew led. He led auton, the accusative here, pronoun, led him, that is Peter. Pros, ton, Yesun. Of course, when action or movement is involved, typically the pronoun or the preposition pros will be used. So pros ton Yesun, to the Jesus, literally, or led him to Jesus. So Andrew led his brother Peter to Jesus. This is emblepsos. It's a combination of the word blepo and the prefix en, which means in, but in the combination with blepo, it means to see in or to see within, as if Jesus is seeing through this man, seeing something more than might appear on the surface. Emblepsos auto, looking at him, you might say intently, ho Jesus, Jesus, said, the second aorist of lego, to say, Jesus said, su, this is emphatic, he includes the personal pronoun you, are, second person, singular, you are Simon, you are Simon. The impression you get is that Jesus said this to him before they'd even been properly introduced. Jesus looks at him and knows his name immediately. You are Simon ho huios, the son Ioannou, the son of John. Su, you, again repeating that, so it becomes even more emphatic. Kleithese, this is the future passive. You will be called, from kaleo, you will be called Kephas. Cephas is the way that's typically translated. It's an Aramaic name. It's comparable to the Greek name Petros. Ho hermeneutai. We know the word hermeneutics means to interpret, which is interpreted Petros. So this is the Greek. It's the translation of the Aramaic word Kephas. Both of them mean, of course, rock. So that's really the sense of it. Jesus said, you are Simon, the son of John. You will be called Kephas, and then John tells us, which, by the way, means a rock. There's no necessary reason to assume that what John is doing here is suggesting another proper name, Petros. The capitalization is an editorial speculation. It may very well be that John is simply interpreting for his reader the meaning of that Aramaic term on the assumption that they may not know that particular term in that language, and so he gives them the translation, this is a rock. Not the rock, but simply a translation of that word. When did this conversation take place? Probably prior to the account of Jesus calling the disciples that we have recorded for us in the Synoptic Gospels. It doesn't necessarily suggest in the Synoptics that these men were not already somewhat acquainted with Jesus. In fact, it's more probable that they were, so that when Jesus said, "Follow me," they had already had some prior, you might say, conditioning in that direction. And this does appear to be the first time that they met, and so that seems to be the way John is presenting it to us here.